Now for problems 8 and 9, I'm trying to get both of those into standard form. So again, we know that standard form is ax plus by equals c form. And we also know that a, b, and c are all integers, that they are all whole numbers. They're not going to be any fractions in standard form. So let me start off by multiplying both sides of my equation by 5. If I want to get rid of my fractions, let's take care of that right off the bat. So let's multiply both sides of my equation by my lowest common denominator, which is 5 in this case. So I have 5 times y equals 5y, and then equals, well, now I have the distributive property, right? So 5 times 7 over 5. What's that going to give me? Well, I know that I can cross cancel before I multiply. So 5 will go into 5 one time, and 1 times negative 7 will give me negative 7x. And then the last thing to do is 5 times 21, and that's going to give me 105. Now that I've gotten rid of my fractions, all I simply have to do is get my ax term, so the x term in front of my y. I do that by getting rid of that negative 7x and adding it to the other side of my equation. So the final answer for that one is 7x plus 5y equals 105. So that's my first answer in standard form. Now number 9 is actually in point slope form. And there's no fractions, so it's a little easier. But if I had fractions, I get rid of my fractions the same way that I got rid of them in the above equation. Multiply by the lowest common denominator to get rid of your fractions. So for number 9, let's clean up the distributive property first. I've got y plus 15 equals 3x, and then 3 times negative 3 gives me negative 9. Now in standard form, I got to get x over to the other side with the y, so I can do that by subtracting 3x on both sides. And then I want any number without an x or y to the right-hand side, so I'm going to get rid of that positive 15 by subtracting 15 on both sides. And what is that going to leave me with? Negative 3x plus y equals negative 24. And that's actually my answer in standard form. And remember from class, standard form actually doesn't have a negative in front of the x term. So if you want to go the extra mile, you can. I'm not going to count you wrong. But you can take away that negative by multiplying everything by negative 1. So that is actually my answer in standard form. But if you put what we had right before that, I'd count that right as well. So I hope that helps.